What is going on, guys and gals? As you can see, I have a Umerex Notos air rifle, and on top I have the Commander NV400 day-night digital scope. We're going to do a basic review on this scope today, and if you have any interest in it, stay with me. I'll try to make it informative and entertaining. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, before we get started, full disclaimer, One Leaf gave me this scope late last summer, early fall, to keep, to use, and to do a review on. And I've taken it out a couple times on some squirrel hunts. I've used it and shot it in my backyard, so I feel like I've had enough time with it to go ahead and do this review. So let's get started. So the basic nomenclature, the weight, the length, all that jazz, I'm gonna go ahead and insert right now. You can go ahead and pause it, or you can look up the information online. I can't remember that stuff off the top of my head, and I don't want to read from a sheet. So, and now we're going to go ahead and talk about the basic features of the scope. It's a scope. It's set up like most scopes. It is a 2 to 16 power by 50 millimeter objective scope. It's digital. It shoots in both day and night. That's the basic beans of the scope. From front to back, we've got the 50 millimeter objective. This includes sunshades for different various light conditions. I've found personally, man, you don't need to use a sunshade regardless of the conditions. You know, it's kind of goofy looking. It's a cone-shaped sunshade, and I've used it without the sunshade during the daylight hours, and I've had no issues at all. So. But that screws on the sunshade right onto this little cap right here. You have your parallax adjustment here. It's very smooth. It's not too loose, but yeah, it's very easy to rotate to get that focus. You got your tube, obviously. It's a very well-made tube. It feels like solid aluminum, one piece. Here you have your battery cap. There's 2 built-in internal batteries inside this scope. And then you have additional batteries that you can put into this tube. So you can bring along additional batteries along with having the 2 batteries inside, the internal batteries inside. So you've got lots of power options, lots of power backup. And you can also change the battery. You have your 18500s and your 18750s, I think they're called. I forget. I'll put it on the screen here. But this has got the, right now, it's a shorter cap, and it's got the, what is this? The 18500, so the shorter of the 2 batteries. It comes with a taller cap for the taller battery if you want that extra power. Right here we have a cap that has our USB connection and I believe our SD card. So that opens right up, this little rubber cap. So our little SD card goes right there, and we can charge and connect to a TV or a computer to watch video on the big screen straight from the scope. I'm not sure what the waterproof rating is off the top of my head, but you can take it out in the elements, man. No fear. It will stay dry. On top, we have an adjustment knob. It's our zoom knob slash menu scroll knob. Scrolls through the menu, and then you press down on it to select items. It's got nice clicks to it. Very positive feeling. On top, we have some different buttons that select different things. You can take photos, you can obviously record video. This records in 4K, up to 4K, and some other buttons that select between day, night mode, and etc. And back here we have our ocular adjustment that you can adjust depending on your eyes. On top we have, these are the scope rings that were provided. We have a couple Picatinny slots to add attachments. This comes with an IR torch and an IR flashlight that mounts directly to that, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So, and just turning it around, this is the other side of the scope, and this is where your ballistic calculator rangefinder goes. I don't have that on there right now. I'll show it to you real quick, but I don't use it, but it's a nice feature if you do want to use it. So that's the basic overview of the digital scope. I'll show you the attachments real quick. Okay, 2 attachments that come with the rifle. I don't have them on the rifle because I don't use them, but you may want to use them. We've got our ballistic calculator / rangefinder, and we've got our IR flashlight or torch. But these mount, the torch mounts right on here. You can either have it on the front here or the back here. That just mounts right onto the rifle, so you can use it at nighttime if you're shooting rats or whatever. It mounts there nice and clean. And then this ballistic calculator mounts right to there. And then obviously you can use that to, you know, figure out your range to target and all that other stuff. And what it'll do is it'll adjust the sight or the crosshairs to match your range and ballistics, so you can be point of aim, point of impact instead of having to do any holdover. So some cool features, man. I just don't use them for squirrel hunting. That's pretty much what I do, is squirrel hunting. That's what I use these digital scopes for. And I don't have time to get ranges on a moving squirrel, and obviously I don't hunt them at nighttime. But this would be a great little scope along with this rifle for some rat shooting or something like that. But again, this scope, you could use it for deer hunting, predator hunting, you know, anything that you want to get some good video footage of. One other thing that I wanted to mention before we get started with the shooting, it's that everything that you need to get started comes with this scope, everything. And that's one of the things I'm going to cover in the pros. But I mean, it comes with the mounting rings, it comes with the scope itself, it comes with an IR torch, the ballistic calculator, which it's nice that you can detach it for those that don't use it to kind of trim down the weight and the bulk. It comes with the Allen key, it comes with the scope shades, it comes with everything. It comes with batteries for the torch, for the scope, both sizes, both caps, depending on what size you're using. They spare nothing, man. They include all the accessories you need to take this scope, mount it, shoot it, and enjoy it. So that's definitely a plus, and that's something that I'll cover quickly at the end, but I just wanted to mention that. Okay, I'm going to go over the pros and cons kind of simultaneously, so bear with me. But the first thing I want to talk about is the sight picture or the screen. This is a digital scope. You're never going to have, well, at least in today's day and age, the same clarity as you have with real glass. So that being said, this is a pretty good screen picture. It's not the best I've seen. I own a lot of digital scopes that I've bought and paid for with my own money. I have the ATN 4K Pro. I have the ATN X Sight 5. I have the Sightmark Wraith Mini. And I have the DNT Zulus. The Zulus is the best screen I've ever seen. It's pretty much close to glass, but this is probably in the middle ground, I'd say. The Wraith Mini is the worst in my opinion, but this is pretty good. The ATNs are very good, but the Zulus is probably the best. This is probably just below the ATN, I'd say. Now, you know, I use these scopes to film squirrel hunts. That's what I do. You know, other people are going to use it for different things, you know. But squirrel hunting, you know, you're hunting in the woods. There's bright light conditions, there's low light conditions, depending if you're in the shade in the woods or you're in an open spot, you know. So, you know, the light levels are always changing. What the problem is that some of these digital scopes have is adjusting to the different light that you encounter as you're, you know, tracking a squirrel and moving around. You know, 1 minute they might be out in an open branch and then they're moving and now they get into a dark spot against a tree trunk, you know. So those light levels are always changing, and these digital scopes, some of them struggle to adjust to those different light conditions. This one does a pretty good job. The Wraith Mini 4K does a horrible job. The ATNs and the Zulus do the best jobs. And also the picture that you see in the scope, you know, because of the light levels changing and the actual pixels in the scope screen itself, some are better than others. This one's pretty good. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. So for a scale of 1 to 5 for screen clarity, I'm going to give this a 3.5. Next thing we're going to talk about is the actual video quality. And this is up there with the best of the best. The video quality on this is exceptional. It's very good. It's just as good as any of the other scopes out there, ATN, DNT, you name them. I don't have any experience with some of the European models, or some of the other European models, but the video quality is phenomenal. They're all 4K now, man, but I think this has got that Sony digital processor, and it takes very good, high quality video. So no complaints on that, and I think out of a 5, I'm going to give this a 4, or let's say a 4.5. It's up there. Let's give it a 4. Let's give it a 4. A little room for improvement, but yeah, it's up there. It's good video quality. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is recording speed, and what I mean by that is how quickly can I turn on this camera and hit the record button and it starts recording. And for me, I hunt squirrels. I don't have a lot of time. They're not pigeons sitting on a wire, you know, just sitting there all day long waiting for you to get your range on them and get the camera turned on. A lot of times I see squirrels, man, I have seconds with which to take the shot. You know, they're moving around. Maybe they stop for half a second on some branch, or I might spot one quickly where I didn't see one before. All of a sudden, boom, there's a squirrel. I got to get the camera on. I got to get it recording so I can get the shot, get video of it. So this thing, this scope, it has a power button right there, like I mentioned before, and you long press that, I think for, I don't know, 3 to 5 seconds or so. So I'm going to go ahead, long press that, and then it'll turn on. Now the turn on, it takes a while for it to turn on. You know, it doesn't start up right off the bat. And let's see if she's on yet. It's taking a little bit of time. It takes, I don't know, maybe a good 30 seconds to a minute, which if that was the case all by itself, the scope would be no good for me. But once you got it turned on, because obviously you don't want to leave the scope running, you know, on. Sometimes I hunt for 6 to 8 hours all day, you know. Maybe I take a break for lunch or whatever, but this thing's got to be able to last me all day for a hunt. Now, you do have the option, obviously, to bring batteries, but, you know, I don't want to be bringing 1,000 batteries. So I want something I can turn on, and then the neat thing on this is you can hit this button real quick, and it'll put it into standby mode. So I hit that quick, and it blacks out the screen. The screen is blacked out, saving battery life, and then I can hit it again. Screen's back on. And then I just hit the record button. And we're ready to go. And she's recording. So that's it, man. Nice and quick and simple. It saves on the battery. And you can take it out of standby mode with one quick button hit and then another to start recording. And you're in business. So I would say on screen recording speed, I would say I'd give it a 4 out of 5. The next thing we're going to talk about is battery life itself, which is kind of related to the screen recording of having the power on and having the standby mode. The battery life on this is good. It's very good. It has the 2 internal batteries, and then it also has the external battery, so you can bring along spare batteries if you need to. If you're going to do an all-night predator hunt, you know, and have the camera on, maybe you're out there from midnight until 6 o'clock in the morning, you want to have that ability to have enough battery life for the full hunt, because you don't know when the coyotes are going to show up, man. Same thing with squirrel hunting. You know, I don't know when I'm going to see a squirrel. I might shoot one, you know, an hour or 2 into the hunt. I might not see another one for another hour or 2. So you want that battery life, man, for those all-day hunts. This battery life on here is decent with just the internal batteries. It's not great. The ATN probably has the best battery life that I've ever used. This is pretty good. Internal battery wise, it's not great. I mean, maybe 3 to 4 hours, maybe. But you have the option to bring external batteries to continue the hunt. So battery life, I'd say out of a 5, I'll give it a 3.5. Not bad. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about quick, and I already kind of covered it, was the extras, man. This comes with everything that you need to mount it to a rifle and start hunting. Again, it comes with the scope mounts, with the built-in Picatinny rail, comes with batteries, comes with the sunshade, comes with the Allen wrench to mount the accessories, comes with the cap, you know, 2 different caps to use whatever size battery you want to use, either the 18500s or the 18650s, I believe they are. So yeah, it comes with everything, man, and it's very well packaged. It comes in a nice box, a nice foam, inserts with every accessory in there, neatly laid out. So for everything included, the packaging, just everything, the overall presentation of what you get, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about, and this is my big con with this scope, is the bulk and the weight. I don't know off the top of my head, I'll show it right now what the weight is, what the size is, but this is a big, bulky, heavy scope, man. Not too bad for a small little air rifle like this Umerex Notos. It works well with this, but some of those bigger rifles, man, when you add this on top of them, it's just a lot of weight, man. And it's very bulky. It just takes up a lot of space. So that's one of my cons with this scope. It's actually bigger than the ATN 4K, much bigger than the DNT Zulus and the Wraith Mini. It's just a big, big scope, man. If they could just trim it down a little bit and cut the weight a little bit, it'd be a great scope, man. But just because of the size and the weight, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5, man. It is a big scope. Maybe even a 1 out of 5. We'll go with 2 out of 5, but it is a big, heavy scope, man. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the build quality, which kind of goes along with the packaging and all the accessories. But the build quality is phenomenal, man. This thing is built well. It's a Chinese company, One Leaf, that makes this scope, but it is not cheap. It is not cheaply made. Like I said earlier, it has that Sony digital processor inside for the video. You know, it's one of the best processors around right now for digital scopes. The tube itself looks to be a one-piece aluminum tube. I mean, everything, the knobs, everything is very well made, feels rock solid. This looks like a scope that you could probably drop on the ground and it would brush it off like it was no big deal. Just a well-made scope, man. Very well made, high quality, nothing cheap about it, man. No cheap parts. The knobs all feel, you know, the knobs and the caps all feel well made or sealed nicely. Just a nice build. Good quality scope. And that leads us into the next thing I'm going to talk about, which is the price. These digital scopes are not cheap, but they vary anywhere from like $300 to near $1,000 or over $1,000, depending on what model you get and what features it has. This is kind of in the middle. I think last time I looked, if you went to One Leaf directly, you could get this scope for $500, which is pretty good considering the quality of the build, the quality of the video, and all the accessories that you get. The torch, the ballistic calculator, and all that other stuff, the batteries, everything. For $500, not a bad deal, man. ATN, last time I looked, the ATN X-Sight 5, which is their latest and greatest digital scope, I think that's going for $800. That's a smaller, more compact scope, very good quality, but you're paying $300 more for the scope. And then you've got the DNT Zulus, which I own 2 of those personally, and I love those scopes. They're a little goofy looking, a little funky for mounting because of the way the mount is and everything, but those scopes are going for $350. And I think they also include the torch and the batteries and everything. So you can get a variation with a ballistic calculator, and that's going to bump it up to maybe another $150. So on par with this, probably $500 if you want the ballistic calculator and all that stuff. But if you just want a digital scope, the DNT Zulus, $350. So price point, not the greatest. It's not the most budget friendly, but it's not the worst either. And you get a pretty good bang for your buck with this scope. I'm going to give this a 3.5 again out of 5 for price point. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to sight this bad boy in with the Notos, do a little shooting, and then later tonight or one of these nights I'll do some nighttime shooting, show you some nighttime video. All right. Okay, we're putting on the ballistic calculator / rangefinder. I'll show you a little bit of that, if I can remember right how to use it. Personally, again, I don't have the time to use a calculator or rangefinder when I'm squirrel hunting. And I also find that it just adds this extra crosshairs, jumble. It's just a distraction, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm also putting on the IR torch because we're going to shoot this at nighttime, so I'm just getting everything set up for nighttime shoot. And like I said, man, it comes with everything. It comes with different Allen keys for everything. This came with the kit. So we're all set up. I'm going to go ahead and I got to get on paper, so we're about 15 yards away. We'll get it on paper, get sighted in, then I'm going to pluck up some targets, plink some targets. Not pluck them, plink them. Do a little plinking. I'm old-fashioned and believe in sighting in the prone position. I'd prefer a sandbag, but we'll use these bipods. But what we're doing now is we're just shooting it about 15 yards just to hit paper because I have no idea where the zero is right now on the scope. So we're going to try to hit paper, adjust, and then we'll bring it back to 25 yards for the final sight in. This is the Umerex Notos, so it's probably a good 30-yard gun, maybe 35, 40 tops. So we'll get a nice 25-yard zero for it. And just to verify where we're at right now, yep, 15.2 yards to the target. So let's hit some paper. And all we're shooting right now, I'm shooting my cheap stuff. I may, once I get paper, I might switch to the better stuff, but I'm just shooting the Crosman Premier 14.3 grain hollow points. Scope is on. I'm going to go ahead and start recording so I can kind of show you the zoom levels. So what this has, and we're recording right now, this has a combination of optical and digital zoom. So it's a 13 level digital zoom with a 2-time magnifier. So every time you go up, you're going up 1 level. That's 2 power, 3 power, but it's actually 6 power digital, or 6 power total, because it has that 2 power magnifier. So it's a 3 power digital right now times the 2 power optical magnifier. So we're at really 6 power. And then we're going to zoom in all the way. One thing I will say about this scope is that it's got a little bit of a delay with the zooming. But yeah, we're at 13 power / really 26 power. 13 digital zoom with the 2-time magnifier. Let's go ahead and take a shot. We already got one in the chamber. And hopefully we're hitting paper. Which I cannot tell if we hit anything. I think we did. But I'm going to go ahead and go down range, verify. We might have to get closer just to get on paper. Oh, I think I see it right now, right there. But let me double check. And then we'll make our adjustments from there. This does have, there, she's not recording anymore. This does have your one-shot zeroing. All these digital scopes have the one-shot zero now. So from that shot that we took, we'll go ahead and adjust it. I'm not going to go over the details on how to do that. I'm not going to go over any of the screenshots or video recordings, screen recordings of how to zero and manipulate the menu. There's a lot of videos out there that covers that. I'm not going to cover that, man. But yeah, it has a one-shot zero, a pretty intuitive menu system. So we'll go ahead and make the adjustments, get it on paper, bring it back, zero it at 25 yards. And then, like I said before, we'll do some plinking. So, all right, let's go double check this, make sure that was the shot, which I think it was. Yeah, that's our shot. So that's our shot. That's where we're aiming. This is just a little like 1-inch piece of tape. So we're probably about 3 inches low, 1/2 inch to the right. So we'll do that one-shot zero and get her on target. All right. Gotta get her on target, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into our zero menu, which I'm not going to show you, but we'll get it zeroed and take it from there. We are zoomed in so much, man, it's hard to find target. There is the target. Zoom out a little bit. So we're saved. So now we're going to go ahead, long press to get out of the menu, and we'll zoom in again. I'll start recording. We'll zoom in again, and hopefully we're pretty close to hitting target. Okay. That looks like it hit target. Let's take one more to verify. Okay. Let's go down range, double check. Oh yeah. You probably can't see that from way back there, but that hit almost one on top of the other. Well, we'll go back because we're going to sight in for 25 yards. So we're going to move this bad boy back. Fire a few more shots. Yeah, baby. Nice. All right, we're back here at the 25-yard line. That line right there, I drew in the sand at exactly 25 yards. Had the scope in standby mode. Go ahead and start recording. Find my target. Where is my target? There's my target. We got to adjust the ocular because we've changed ranges. So there we go. It is zoomed in. And I got to charge a new round. Okay. Let's see where this ends up. I did not see that. Let's shoot one more. We're going to go down and double check that. Go down range, check this out where it's hitting at. I can't tell through the scope. It's just nice to have a spotting scope. Okay, it is where I thought, man. We're pretty close to the target there, man. So I don't even think I'm going to make any adjustments. I'm just going to shoot the rest of these rounds, top off the magazine, and we'll go ahead and plink some little metal targets I have. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish off this mag. There's probably, I don't know, maybe they're 11 round mags. We've maybe shot 5, 6, 7. So we'll finish off this mag. I'm going to shoot a couple on the highest magnification and dial it back a little bit. But yeah, baby. Let's go ahead and charge another one. That one went a little wide to the left. A little wide to the left again. Not super bad, but we're going to bring it down just a little bit. We're back to our 1x zoom. We're going to zoom in a little bit more. I don't think I'm going to go full zoom, so we'll shoot it 10 power, which is like the same as 20 power, I guess. There we go. I don't know how many rounds I got left. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Okay. 25 yards with the Crossman Premier 14.3 grains. We're on target. So now I'm going to set up a couple little metal targets and do a little plinking action. Yeah, baby, plinking with my dinkin'. All right. Yeah, baby, busted that pasty right out just about. Gonna go ahead and put it in standby mode. We've been running this camera for, I don't know, a good half hour. It's still at 90%, and we weren't at full strength, I don't think, when we came out here at 93%. So pretty darn good battery life, man. And like I said, you can always bring spare batteries if you're gonna do an all day, all night hunt. All right, we're gonna go down here, check that target. We're gonna pull it, and I'm gonna put up these little, got these little metal yellow targets we're gonna just set up out here. But yeah, I wasn't shooting for extreme accuracy, but that's pretty darn good. Good enough for me. So let's pull this, set these little bad boys up, and do some plinking. All right, we've got a fresh mag of 11 rounds, and we got 4 targets out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to take these targets out with not too much difficulty. Okay, we are recording. I'm at 1 power. We're going to zoom in a little bit. I think that's the pig or whatever the heck it is. And I guess that sunshade might benefit for this shot right here because it is a little bright out there. I don't know what the video is going to look like, but the screen is bright. Try to take this bad boy out. He's gone. Now we got, I gotta dial it back some if I can find him. Yeah, there's a lot of white washout without that filter on. But a lot of times for me, I'm hunting in the woods, so it doesn't bother me. Got him. Got that one way in the back there. Oh yeah. I'm gonna zoom in on him just a little bit more. Got him. Yeah, where's our thing at? My charging handle. I can't find my charging handle. I keep losing it. Where's the other guy at? I gotta bring it back. There it is. I see it. This is a little guy. I don't know if we're gonna get him on the first shot. He's probably about 20 yards out. Got him. Yeah, buddy. Let's bring it back. Dial things back. All right, man. Yeah, there's some washout in the screen. I don't know if you're seeing the washout in the video. Obviously, you'll see the video version. The screen version, it's very bright, so I could see where that filter would come in handy to try to limit some of that washout you're getting with the bright sunlight. So yeah, man, that's our daytime shoot, like I said, and either tonight or within the next couple nights, we'll do a nighttime shoot, and you can see the IR, torch, flashlight, how well that works, how well the scope works at nighttime if you're going to use this for nighttime shooting for rats or predators or whatever. Okay, we are a couple hours away from darkness, from doing our night shoot. Before we do that, I just wanted to do some ranging on some targets, just to use that ballistic calculator or that rangefinder. And I just wanted to show you what we're going to be shooting at once it gets dark, because you're not going to be able to really see it besides through the scope cam once it becomes nighttime. I will have some ambient light. I might even put the deck light on right there just so you can see some stuff. But yeah, I'll just show you where we're going to be shooting from and what we're going to be shooting at. So this is my back deck here. Don't mind the mess, man. Been doing yard work all day, mowing grass and planting flowers, all that good stuff. So there's the scope on the Umerex Notos. That's where we're going to be shooting from. There's my little rangefinder. And we're going to be shooting at this little metal target. Again, don't mind the yard. There used to be a big divot here. I had it filled in with some gravel and topsoil, just waiting for the grass seed to grow. But this is what we're going to be shooting at. This little squirrel target. And it's approximately, I think from the deck there, I don't know, about maybe 20, 25 yards. I'll go ahead and range it real quick. And then we'll use the ballistic calculator and we'll range some different targets here in the backyard. That little bird feeder over there, some of the bird feeders over there, different things, maybe the trees over there. Range them out and compare it with the traditional rangefinder and the rangefinder that's in the scope to see how accurate they are within each other. So let's go ahead and do that now, and then once it gets dark here in a couple more hours, we'll come out here and shoot at that squirrel target. All right, we'll go ahead and range a couple targets out there. I'm going to range that metal bird feeder. It's saying 21.2 yards to that metal bird feeder. And it's 23 yards to the squirrel target. So let's go ahead and turn our scope on. Okay, we are on. And I'm going to go ahead and range to that metal bird feeder. Just tap on this menu button on top here. I think just once, and that'll turn on the rangefinder. Maybe twice. And it is saying 22.5. Yeah, 22.5. And what did I say it was with the with this? Saying 21.3 yards. Of course, this might be in meters, so no, it's in yards. Yeah, so saying about 22.5. It's fluctuating a bit, but yeah. So not dead on, but pretty close. Then to the squirrel target, 24.5. 24.5. And my rangefinder saying about 22.5, so off by a couple of yards. But still relatively close, man, you know. And I'm going to go to that big, like, bird feeder, bird house, and it's saying 30.1 yard. So about 30 yards to that bird feeder or bird house with a star in it. And 28.5 with this rangefinder. So it's off by a couple of yards, which in the grand scheme of things is not that big of a deal. You know, if the target's at 30 yards and it ranges it at 32, or if it's at 28 yards and ranges it at 30, or vice versa, it's at 30 and it ranges it at 28, you know, still pretty much going to be point of aim, point of impact. So it's relatively accurate, close enough. So I just wanted to show you that, show you the ballistic calculator. And then a couple more hours, we'll turn the scope back on, come out here and fire a magazine. I've already got it all set, ready to go in the Umerex Notos. 11 rounds. We'll shoot at that squirrel target, and then I'll just look at different things out here just to show you what things look like at different ranges. I don't have a ton of range out here in the backyard. Maybe to the far corner, about 40 yards most, so. But yeah. Hi. I don't even know if you can see me, so I've got this little light that I'm going to kind of shine at me so you can see me, so you're not staring at darkness. But it's 20 after 9. Sunset was at 8:35, so we still have a little bit of light in the sky, but it's pretty dark out here, man. I cannot see the target now. I've got the one camera on it, and it's in between those two lights. There's a light to the left. There's a bunch of lights out there, but the light all the way to the left, then the next one over to its right, the target's right in between those two lights. So, yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and I already got the scope on. We're going to check out things through the scope. I forgot to mention before, there's 3 modes. There's the daytime mode. There's what they call a starlight mode. And then there's the IR mode, the nighttime mode. So I'll show you what each of those modes looks like looking through the scope. We do have some ambient light out here. Obviously the light's out there. I've got my house that I'm shooting from. There's some light coming off the house, but it's pretty dark out here. I can't see the target at all. All I can see are the lights for the most part. Maybe a tree I can make out, but I can't see the target. So I'm going to set this little light up right over here maybe, so you got a little bit of light to see me with. And let's go ahead and start recording and see what we can see. So I have it on day mode, and on day mode I know the target's in between those two lights, but I can't see anything. So we're going to go ahead and switch it to, this is the starlight mode. And there with starlight mode I can see the target. I'm going to turn on the IR torch, and that really lights things up, man. It's got, like most IR torches, it's got where you can, you know, really dial in the beam, where you can spread it out. So that's spread out. Almost whitewashes things, but that's the squirrel target right there. That's a little feeder, another couple more feeders. That's my canoe back there, another feeder. And that's the squirrel nest, or bird's nest, house, whatever you want to call it, with that little star there. So that's starlight mode. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple shots on starlight mode. I've already got a magazine loaded up, pellet in the chamber, ready to shoot. We'll shoot one more. And I'll go ahead and load, put it on safe. Let's go ahead and switch to, I'm going to dial that beam back down. And then we'll go ahead and switch to the night mode, the IR mode, whatever you want to call it. This is nighttime mode. Really, probably should have focused the focus ring first. Forgot to do that. There we go. That helps a lot. I forgot to focus the objective lens for the range. That's a lot better. So yeah. And we could zoom in too. There we go. Nice little zoom in. We're going to leave it on that. Try to hit the target. There's the lights. I think we got it. Let's load up another. We'll hit the paddle down below. We missed that, but let's try it again. I'm not in the steadiest position. Where do we go? There we are. Got it. Awesome. Let's dial back out. We'll open up the beam. And now you can see a lot of stuff, man. It really opens up the night. There's that birdhouse with the star on it. Oh yeah. Very nice. Let's go back to, where's our target? We're zoomed in it. That's day mode. Completely useless. There's the starlight mode. I don't know why you'd want Starlight over the night mode. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for it, but seems like the night mode works pretty well. Maybe certain things stand out better. I don't know. Let's go ahead and flood that torch again, or not flood it. Narrow it in. Narrow beam. Zoom back out. And man, this is pretty cool. I mean, I've shot some things at night before with different scopes, but I haven't played with it too much, but this is pretty cool, man. But I definitely like the IR night mode best. This mode right here. This is nice, man. I'd like to open that beam up a little bit. This would be great for ratting. Let's go ahead and finish off this magazine on the target. I can't remember if I go ahead and chamber one. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. We're going to zoom in. Whoa, that's too much. That's a pretty intense zoom. I think we got it. Got it. Let's zoom back a little bit though, man. When you're zoomed in so close, things get really wobbly on a scope. Let's go ahead and finish off. That was a bad shot. I'm not in the greatest position. Another bad shot. There we go. See if I can get that bottom paddle. Got it. I don't know how many rounds we got left. I'm just going to hit the middle of the black. That's it, man. That's all she wrote. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little demonstration of the night modes. Pretty cool, man. Worked pretty good.